Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18. I'm Delshad Irani and today I'm in conversation with Prasanth Kumar, the CEO of WPP Media South Asia. Earlier this year, GroupM, the world's largest media investments firm, rebranded and restructured to WPP Media. But what does this shift in transformation entail for the India market? Where are the growth drivers coming from? What are the new disruptions AI is bringing in? What is the future of media? We are unpacking all this and a lot more with Prasanth on the show today. Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18 PK. Absolutely thrilled to be here with you today at the campus. It's been a busy year for you. It's been a busy year for the industry, but especially WPP Media. Lots of changes, lots of disruptions, external, internal. Given, of course, the major rebranding and restructuring that happened of GroupM to WPP Media, let's just zoom out a little bit right at the start, PK, and tell me how does this affect, how have the past few months been for WPP Media now in India?
Oh, great. First of all, thanks for having me. So, yeah, you're right. I think it's quite a fast evolving landscape, right? This is a phrase I think for the last 10 years I've been using it. So at the same time, I think the pace is really, actually going up even further. But for us, this rebranding, from GroupM to WPP Media, it's not just a name change alone, right? I think it also comes from the context that we are playing a very central role of how we integrate all the WPP leverage to all our customers, right? And it also gives the opportunity for our people to, progress, in a consistent manner. I think we have looked at from the context of how we should. It's a new world coming up, right? And every 5 years, every 7 years, the world keeps changing, and we all know that. But the next phase of growth, what it really means to us, and especially given the India context, I think that's quite inspiring, right? It's also inspiring from the context that it's exciting to see that how the opportunities are really going up. Of course, it comes with the bag of challenges and riddles to be solved, but the opportunities are not, something which is stagnant, right? And we see this from the context of how we play, from a larger span of slightly more long term, let's say 2030, next 5-year strategy. So globally, we look at from a Vision 30 strategy, right, which has got 4 pillars. One of them is collaboration, and that's very, very, very significantly important on how we collectively leverage what assets, what knowledge, and how we apply to many of the solutions that we want to give to our clients. Right? The second one is the data and tech part,
Right.
which I think we all clearly understand now on the rapid change of the significance of both data and technology, and AI plays a very central role there. I think innovation is not something new, but at the same time, given these context of changes, I think being inventive becomes very, very critical. And definitely the fourth one is the people, right? So how we continuously develop our people, how we continuously train them, how we look at different expanded, skills and diversified skills to play on. So these are 4 pillars which we look at. So for us, this has come at the right time, this has come at the appropriate aspect, and it's an opportunity for us to look at the next phase of growth, given globally as well as for India. So we look at it from that context, and we are quite excited about it.
You spoke about India being inspiring. Now, of course, WPP as a group has been facing some tremendous headwinds globally. India, more or less, is a bit of a shining example, globally as well for the group, and WPP Media, especially in the country, is the largest. Let's, before we get to the people part, let's talk a little bit about, where that growth is going to come from. Give me the specifics on what you are seeing as the opportunities here, whether it's in technology, whether it's in certain categories. Next 5 years, as you say, where will the growth come from? Because that is the big challenge for everyone today, especially with the ad-holdcos. So tell me a little bit about where you see that growth coming from.
Great. That's a very interesting question. And, as we want to look at our growth, I think our growth is not a subject which is pre to our customers' growth, right? I think first we should talk about our customers.
Absolutely.
And over the years, there's one consistency that we have been keeping to ensure that the path and the learning and the application for our customers' growth is very, very important. When I look at that, I think, as I mentioned earlier, we're in a new world, right? And the source of growth for our customers, and even if you look at it from the context of the consumption pattern, I think we have been going through a post-pandemic, we've had a mixed bag, right? We've had a couple of years post-2020, which has been good. We had some great growth.
Everything was revenge in that phase, right?
In a way.
Revenge shopping,
Yes.
revenge, yeah.
So, and it played across categories. It's not just unique to one category, it played it across categories. And I think post that, during that time, we also saw a lot of, VC investments coming into it and supporting from that context. But I think slowly that had to take some calls and probably that went out. But that's from an investment perspective, and therefore what had brought challenges to some of the categories. But when it came back and it grew a lot of consumption, we started seeing some plateauing, of those kind of, consumption growth and so on, which if you look at the data, we get to understand in multiple categories. Now, what also happened is not just the recovery of some of these businesses, and it's not just the shape of growth, for many of these categories. It's also how the shape of growth is new, how it's got the recovery of shape itself is coming in new forms. And let's look at, for example, let's look at some of these, large businesses which are from a trade perspective, and that's where one of the most excited, most frequently used word called e-commerce gets, into the thick of all actions, right? So, if you look at the source of business from general trade to modern trade to commerce and now quick commerce, I think it's again evolved. And we see in the next 5 years that probably a 10 to 12% source of business from general trade may probably get shifted to, businesses which are more modern trade or commerce, from that context. It could be quick commerce or marketplace, or even the brand.com, which is the D2C part of business. That's a fundamental change of doing business. What this essentially means is the contribution of how media itself is getting prepared and getting shaped up to how we can really work with this new fundamental change of source of business for multiple categories, right? So, in a simple way to put it, I think you will see a rapid shift to digital, digital media, digital focus, which again is not just playing from the context of entertainment, it's playing in the context of commerce, it's playing in the context of influencer marketing, it's playing in the context of social media, and so and many more, right? So, which means the customer business is also going to see a largest change in which the source of business will come from different cohorts and different markets. At the same time, the model itself slowly evolving. When we apply that to our business, we'll have to get prepared on that. So, definitely going there, digital, as I said, is one. But at the same time, India is going to be a country where the traditional media is going to continuously be there. So, there is no significant change there, but it will play a role, and there is a room for that, because multiple consumption pattern in media is going to have the content actually taking the central space, and that's going to be consistent. So, there is a role for traditional media, but there is a role for digital in a different form. And in the language of marketing, I think we see the full funnel play out, and it's not just going to be from an awareness perspective, but also from the context of conversion. So, these are the three lenses which will apply: customer business model changing, media habits changing, and therefore how it implies on the media consumption pattern, and therefore how it implies on the marketing aspects changing. So, our focus clearly are going to strengthen this, right? Which will mean we will definitely have more profound solutions on how digital solutions can help our client. The usage of data and technology will have a larger perspective, so understanding consumer and where we can get insights as well as apply them. I think also from the context of content and how we use AI to get more personalization, right? So all of this is really what the thick of the work which we are finding very exciting, and how all our team is really into it.
And preparing for it.
I think it's a continuous journey. It's never a uniform need for one client. Even within the same category is never a uniform need, right? So you can imagine how it happens in multi-categories. So that's even more exciting for us to look at, right? I hope I've landed this, 3 key points which we're looking at, right?
You have, and I get that, there will of course going forward be a recalibration of media, in the sense traditional media, retail media,
that's right,
new media, all of that. But just quickly before I move on to the next track and point, which categories excite you right now, PK, in terms of where you're seeing the growth? Because we've seen sort of these ups and downs, these darling categories that emerged, whether it's edtech or gaming now, and especially now after the online gaming bill, suddenly we are seeing these sectors that were the absolute darlings for a while, whether it is funding or consumers or, the advertisers pumping money in there. Now, you have these ups and downs. So what next? What's your take on these category demises, so to speak, and what's emerging?
No, again, it's an interesting journey to observe and learn, and this will keep changing. So first of all, I don't think I want to conclude anything faster. I think we were all in a hurry to conclude post 2020 to say, oh, now the new normal is this. But we have seen how those 2 years went by and what happened after that. In terms of, and there's nothing unique for one single sector. I think everybody's trying to get the next phase of growth, right? I think that's going to stay on for some more time. It's not going to be easy, right? But so just to answer your question on categories, I think every category will have its own new way of finding, again, I'll try and put it into, a couple of lenses. I think it's going to, any business, if you look at today, right, I think they're very fundamentally, linked to either finding a business model for a mass offering or for a premium offering, right? Any business you look at it. I mean, you look at our own business, we'll have for a mass offering or a premium offering, and that's applicable for every category. So what is the change that is happening? How is the source of growth for those sectors which applies to these aspects? Very, very important. Which is applicable to us also. So that's one element. I think the other element is, from perspective of digital first business to an old category coming and playing in the new ways, right? So that kind of a lens, I hope you get what I'm saying, right? And that mix in the business becomes the other factor, right? I think with a lot more understanding of insights of consumers through data, I think the journey of crafting a newer solution becomes faster. Scalability is what everybody is looking at. So the lens for scalability, the lens for incrementality becomes the third factor, right? So these factors are a mixed bag for people to continuously observe and learn. And that will play out. Now, when that gets played out, there will be few things which you'll start doing new, and there will be few things which you will stop doing, and it's bound to happen. But I think the smartness will be on, if you want to really look at the scalability, if you want to really get new acquisition of customers, how do you intelligently play from a technology, from a data, which is applicable for both traditional and the new media or new solutions. So it's not anywhere different from both aspects. And that's going to be a very interesting factor. And we are definitely therefore emphasizing the relevance of AI, how we can get the AI aspects to play as a general day-to-day way of working, which is going to make it easier, more agile, more insightful, taking faster decisions, real-time decisions. How can that be brought up, right? Because we see that it's not going to be only from one lens of a media the old ways of media planning and buying. I think that is not anymore there.
Old ways of media planning and buying are dead.
It's not. It's just got evolved more, right? Because the pitch has changed, right? So you can't ball at 100, whatever kilometers per hour nowadays. I mean, they will say probably you're a slow pace ball. When the pitch changes, you have to have a different way of looking at things. That is exactly what is happening now.
Absolutely. Before we get to the AI question, let me just stay on this point a little bit longer, because of course there is a lot of there's constant turmoil, right? Like you mentioned, post-pandemic, we were talking about it earlier, right? How there was a sense of stability during that time. Maybe not people slowing down, but stabilizing things. A little bit more perspective coming in. Then we saw this surge happening again, and it's been a constant state of flux since then. Of course, we spoke briefly about the regulatory changes happening in certain sectors. We've seen sort of, the fall of certain sectors, industries rise, media changing, geopolitical issues, macroeconomic headwinds. Currently, of course, Trump's tariffs wreaking all sorts of havoc. So the advertiser point of view, PK, because you're of course on the front lines, you're talking to major advertisers in India on a day-to-day basis. What's the sense that you're getting from them? Who's pulling back? Who's pushing ahead, accelerating? Maybe leveraging on this time of uncertainty.
Every quarter this question gets answered with slight different flavors. Let me tell you. So there is no constant answer to this, because every quarter we are learning from what happened, right? And sometimes we see some good progress which is done as per our estimation, or sometimes we don't. Right? But that's not a disclaimer, that's reality. Right? But yeah, these factors are more in the flavor of uncertainty. And I think that's how the life is today, right? And in my opinion, that may continue for some more time. And the reason is because I think the fundamentals are getting reassessed by everybody, right? If you look at from the context of things, whether it's in the area of challenges that you see in the consumption pattern, whether it's in the area of regulatory aspects, whether it's in the area of geopolitical aspects impacting some of the business here in any particular geography, all of these are things which are, as a package it is happening. Now, this also implies into inflation. This also implies into ease of doing business. This also implies into aspects which are newer syllabus for people to look into it. This also implies into advent of newer technology, newer category, newer subcategory, all of that. So those are opportunities which are coming up, just like how you look at from challenges. So it's a mixed bag. Now, I think this mixed bag is going to be there for some more time. And I think it may become, well, that is what the face is, right? It's probably more exciting, more interesting, because there are multiple things coming at the same time, right? That's where it is.
Yes.
Now, how we look at that, how you will read that into your day-to-day life, or how you find source of growth of business, I think certain things will continue to be the same principles, because we still have to look at what is the next source of growth. So that's not going to change.
Absolutely.
Right. I think we still need to look at how do we really, optimize ourselves into forming the new model. What is the next phase of a new model of doing business, right? Or doing delivery. I mean, it's not just always the quotient of business, which could be revenue and stuff. It's also the aspect of the delivery of business, which is how well do you strengthen your service and delivery to your customers, right? So both are important. Actually, the delivery part is even more important, because that I feel always everything else is a derivative of the delivery, right? So these are areas which we need to constantly ask, and we are sometimes paranoid that we keep asking this on a daily basis sometimes. And that's the exciting part of this. And therefore, marketing solutions will change, newer aspects will come, newer ways of finding growth will come, newer learning of what worked 5 years back may not work 5 years later. All of these are going to happen.
Right.
And you got to be really working on each of them and prepare for that. So the preparation starts with the acceptance that change is constant.
Yes,
right?
true.
That's where it is.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But let's zoom in. Let's zoom in on WPP Media. Like we spoke earlier, it's been a year of a lot of change for WPP globally as a group. You know, even within the group, new CEO just coming in. You know, lots of changes, lots of consolidation. Of course, the major one being GroupM getting, you know, transitioning into WPP Media. Are you at a point where you feel like you're stable and prepared enough to tap into some of these growth opportunities that you were talking about? Because you're seeing it a lot as opportunities versus challenges from what I gather, which is fantastic. But is WPP Media prepared enough? Are you settled with the leadership here? Because that's another aspect that's been playing out, right? The leadership changes, the transitions, the restructuring, you know, the influx of new talent, redundancies, all of that. Do you feel you are currently in a stabilizing mode? Where are you? Where are you placed, PK?
Yeah. So, you know, in the recent past, I think these are questions which are not anymore unique to one industry.
True. Very true.
You know, it's applicable to every industry right now. But if I take specific to WPP India and WPP Media India, you know, from that context, I think I have lots of gratitude on how, you know, this business got shaped in the country and how many leaders, you know, even prior to us and prior to me, and we're continuously doing this, right? And therefore, we are very fortunate and blessed that we have a great team, we have a fantastic portfolio of customers, and I think the way we work with our partners, so these three comes handy every millisecond for us, and that's the fact. Now, the only thinking is how do we better our story for our customers, for our partners, for our people. So it's not just one part of it. How do you better? How do you progress this? I think that becomes a very, very interesting and exciting thing, when especially when multiple changes are happening across. Which is very simply put, what's in your control, focus on that, and don't get distracted to what's not in your control, right? I think we as a team have been completely on it. And therefore, accountability for our customers, to our people, as well as, you know, the entire collaborative aspect of working with our partners become very, very critical. And that remains to be the anchored in the way of working it is. So I look at it from that principle, right? We are also lucky that we are like top 4, top 5 markets globally, right, for our larger organization. And you're right, with whatever progress, you know, we are able to do in the last so many years. I think a lot of recognition is there. And the recognition also comes from the context that we are raring to go for even bigger growth within the market. We are raring to try newer ways of working. We want to experiment different practices, different practice of solution for our customers. We want to look at different cohorts of audiences where the business can make sensible. And we are obviously very large consumer base, over 1.4 billion customer base, right? And it's getting shaped up every day. So that recognition comes on, right? I think all of this really makes us even more committed to the fact that progress can be done in a far more sustainable manner, right? And this needs to get applied into whatever you do for your customers, whatever solutions you look at it, right? The second element, I think, over the recent last almost a year, we have started seeing how the investment on technology, how our entire WPP Open is got shaped up, and all of that has really helped us from
becoming a competitive advantage.
Becoming an advantage, and also being you know, speaking, or rather giving an opportunity to, you know, practice like collaboration, and not just within one aspect but multiple aspects. we are able to sense that and we are able to see those happening. So that gives a reassuring fact that, oh yeah, we're not just, we're really getting that, on the game and on the court, right? So those are aspects which also gives you confidence and wanting to put more on it, right? I think we're also looking at from the context of how shapes of different models. So it's one is to look at from the context of how we are working within our country and how we can be useful for the larger perspective also. So our GDCs, for example, are really playing that role. So all this plays makes you feel that we're playing a significantly important role, makes you accountable, makes you satisfied the fact that you're getting enough recognition to try and do more. So it's a very a good momentum to have, right? And that's what we keep discussing in that context.
It was interesting you mentioned globally, of course, India is a top 4, top 5 market for the group. Given the headwinds that the group is facing maybe in other key markets, do you think if you were to hazard a guess on where India will be for WPP as a group in say 4 or 5 years time, on the back of its media play naturally, because it's massive in India, and of course the growth that the market gives you as an opportunity, where do you think India will be for the group and for WPP Media globally in 4 or 5 years?
Okay,
there's a great opportunity to become top 3, top 2. Yeah, don't you think?
No, definitely. So the ambition is to progress every year. I definitely want to be the progress will clearly mean that move from 5 to 4, 4 to 3, right? For instance, so being in top 3 is a wonderful ambition to have, and that's what we are all trying to look at. But that's from a growth perspective, and we also are well wishers for our other markets also, because we don't want a growth when the market falls. That's not the growth which you're looking at. And the rank is a different aspect, but growth is what we are looking at, right? So playing a larger contributor, how much ever we can see a sensible and a responsible contributor for the larger organization growth, I think I'll put it in that way. And there being a top 2 markets, top 3 markets from an incremental perspective, I think will be a good state for us to be in, right? Everything else is derivative, from that, whether you're number 1, number 3, number 2. More and more you focus on how can we really be focused on incremental growth year on year. And that will come from not your existing line of business. It'll also come from newer products, newer services, expanded services, diversified stuff. You got to try different things. You got to expand to multiple markets more, within the country. Those are things which will actually make it even more better. Yeah.
But you spoke about technology and AI, and some of these sort of forward-thinking points that we were talking about. But tell me this: is India seen as just scale, mass growth, or are we are sort of the larger entities looking at India as an innovation test bed as well, or is it just a delivery center? Or how is a global leadership looking at India currently, given of course the larger picture of what's happening in other key markets?
So I'll try and answer that in 2 ways. Okay, one is, I think definitely we as a market is seen as bringing in scale. We are every growth adds to that point, right? From a consumer base, there is no 2 doubts about whether we are scalable or not. We are like probably the top 2 populated country in the world, and that's a big advantage that we have. I think we also talk about our GDP growth and how is it getting, positioned for future. That's again is a very promising story, which is again a greater opportunity we have. I think if you look at from context of, what's the GDP per capita, per capita GDP, that's again we are seeing it growing in the coming years. So maybe 60% plus, 70% plus is the growth expected in the next 5 years from that context. Spends, discretionary spends are growing, right? Cohorts of, youngsters, millennial, Gen Z, all of this is actually growing. These are all substantial aspects. And they all come as opportunities. I mean, which country will say, I don't want this, right? That you got to recognize.
Absolutely.
And that gets recognized because this is not only for media and advertising, this is also for other categories, right? So you've got to recognize it as an overall package of how consumer habits, consumption, how it can grow and do different things. I think, so the lens of what is it today is definitely there, and the lens of what can be tomorrow, both needs to be looked at from the context of how India is really adding value.
Yeah.
And we can sense that when you look at multiple categories, when you look at how it's getting shaped up, how multi investments are coming into different aspects, even within our country, how we are getting developed on infrastructure and multiple aspects, as well as how newer products are coming, newer business change are happening. All of this, it's a very interesting part.
Absolutely.
So therefore, relevance of India is expected to be in the higher side, right? Which I think we are also sensing it. So we are quite excited about this, and we feel that being a leader comes with a lot of responsibility. So shaping it is where the craft is going to be, right? So start with the home, shaping of right solutions, bringing technology, bringing in expanded services. That's why I said all the 4 factors of our Vision 30 strategy, right? How we do it in a better form.
Absolutely. I don't think relevance of the market and India, there's no doubt about that for sure. So you think that WPP India and WPP Media specifically will of course play a key role in helping the WPP with all the sort of the influx of new leadership and the changes. It will be a key player in helping the group sort of regain some of the lost ground globally.
So let me put it this way. I think definitely WPP India will have a very important and significant role. So there is no 2 doubts about that.
Absolutely.
I told you that it is from a domestic growth and also how we contribute to globally, right? Both forms. I think that's design which has already begun, and we are seeing that's happening, and we are seeing the growth,
Right.
and so the entire effort is only to strengthen that further. So that's definitely there. I also feel that whatever challenges we have had and whatever opportunity of growth we have had in other markets, I think everybody is going to put in that, and therefore the global strategy, significant global strategy, which started playing in a far better form, is going to strengthen that offering even better. So the technology aspect I spoke about, the Vision 30 strategy I spoke about, the AI and the WPP open system across globe playing out. All of these are significant examples of that, and I'm sure this is going to be a consistent journey on that. And therefore, this progress will make it even more meaningful, even more a larger result oriented from that context, right? So definitely we are seeing that and sensing.
Absolutely. Just one more thing before we move to the next track, PK. Of course, job losses, layoffs, etc. Like you mentioned, across industries is definitely a concern. Leadership is addressing it across industries. The advertising business, of course, I mean, it's not an exception to what is happening right now. Within that, also different holding companies are going through their own, pace of change, kind of change. AI bringing in all these efficiencies. Therefore, that again maybe exasperating that fear of job losses as well. How are you addressing it for WPP Media India here? How are you balancing that fear and concern with that nurturing of talent? Because at the end of the day, this is a people business.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always been that.
Definitely.
If you lose that, what do you have, right? So what are you doing as the leader of WPP Media India, for your talent here, for your leadership here, to address some of those concerns that are currently plaguing, like we said, every industry?
Yeah, I think, so we've definitely, we're on it. We're on the journey now. And the journey is very clearly that we got to continuously develop our people, continuously skill them. Therefore, abundant training, allowing them to play on the space of AI, right? On the space of technology. It's not that, okay, learn the textbook, we'll see how to play. We don't believe in that. We have to play on the job, right? We have to learn on the job. I think that's one area which we're doing in an extensive manner. So we have our operating system already in place. We have people working on it. We have the training going on extensively on all of that to get ready. And I think there's a lot of excitement happening on that. So that's one part. I think it's equally important to also have a continuous conversation with your customers on the same space, because this is not a one-sided job. It has to have, AI is not a technology only applicable for you.
Right.
It's a technology for everybody. So it's important to have those conversations carry on. So we're trying to do
what clients want.
Yes, because clients want, what do they expect from technology, what do they expect from AI, how is it getting customized to that, right? It's very important to look at, because each customer needs are different, and therefore how do we really customize to all of that. I think those conversations are going well. Of course, it's not like we have some 1,000 clients on that, but we have a good progress which we're looking at from that context. I think the next element is, I think it's important, and somewhere you mentioned about, it's happening across the industry on people. Absolutely right. The heart of this business is lying on our people and how well we prepare them, and how well we prepare them for two aspects, not just the skill, but the aptitude of transformation. I think that is equally important. It's not just to know how to play the story, but the aptitude of the game, the aptitude of what is this, because that is constantly evolving, right? And therefore, it's not a syllabus written, it's a syllabus being formed. So you have an equal contribution on how you need to look at that. I think that's a space we genuinely practice and talk to people and take the views and try and customize that. We believe this journey will go on, right? Because the journey of technology itself is, is an expanded one. The other day we were just discussing, and one of my friends said that you look at technology, you look at machine learning, you look at AI, all of this also have the fourth element of capital, which is the business, right? So everybody wants to progress.
Right.
Business needs to progress. So all of this only will give you more and more opportunities and chances to experiment, get newer things, get different form, to see that progress. So I think it's even more interesting, even more exciting. It's always better to get in this space. Definitely better to get in, because I think you don't need to have a mind block or anything on this, because it just helps you to sketch and design, customize for yourself. I think all of that is coming together, and we are seeing that momentum on.
And job cuts, of course, are part of that growth.
See, I'll tell you, as you said, a subject of this nature is playing out in multiple industries, globally, domestic, every place. And what we always want to ensure is that, get prepared in every form to skill, to develop our people, to also look at different options, to play to strengths for different people. Some of these things, can be weaved into playing to strengths of doing something different. And doing something different can be an expanded service, from all of this. So it's a combination of all of
Redefining
that.
roles.
Redefining that, right? I think that is the ethos of all of these changes, right? We just wish that we're able to do it in a very pragmatic way of the training aspect, etc., so that we are ready for it, and therefore we can continuously be at it to find a new source of growth, a different source of growth, right? It can be from a new practice itself. 5 years back or 10 years back, nobody would be speaking about so much in length and depth about quick commerce and what is the expertise there, or influencer marketing from that context, right? 10 years back, I don't think it was even a line.
Right. Right.
So now we have these opportunities. So all I need to do is to learn more about it, practice about it, and make myself more relevant on that. That's how things change, right? I think that's what I said. The aptitude of the transformation within you is so critical. Yeah,
absolutely.
and you got to dialogue that, develop that, inspire that. I think then things should.
You mentioned Q-commerce a few times already, PK. In terms of the platforms that we're seeing right now, who are you seeing is best placed to take the lead here?
I think see, as a concept, we all understood. So I think from a comfortable aspect, I think marketplace helped us to get things from a logistics perspective and maybe from a price perspective also. But Q-commerce added on top of it of convenience, like every 10 minutes you can get it, 6 minutes you can get it, right?
It's like videos are getting shorter, right? Even that delivery time is getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, we almost feel that somebody was already down, and they're just waiting to give okay, right? I don't think. See, I think each of the players are only trying to strengthen. They're already holding asset and what they're good at. They're still in the journey, right? I think everybody will have their own favorites in this right now. It's also because it's also because of where they're available, where the stores are, what are the products available. The menu is still getting formed. And that journey is going to continue more and more, right? I don't have a personal, perspective there, but I feel excited to see how, because what they're really trying to look at. See, today, what is available is on the menu, right? But if they, it's not just about targeting us or a particular consumer. It's also about finding out insights about what the consumer tastes are and likes are. That's the next phase for it to get developed more, right? And that too for let's say the place I'm staying in a condominium, and only for that condominium, there are like 1,000 houses, and that's relevant, right? And because the behavior of shopping itself has changed, so nobody buys 10 kilos or 5 kilos. They just need to serve for next 2-3 days, and then it can be continuous, from that context. I think it's a big change, big opportunity.
And you're seeing the ad revenues really skyrocket there as well for these players.
Definitely the mix of advertising expenditure will change, right? Because that's becoming a platform to really help your source of growth for any category, right? So how they use that, how they use it for targeting, how they use it for the growth for a customer, whichever category it is. So you will see that mix change, right? That's what I said. This is again playing at the lower bottom of the funnel, where the real outcomes, is really being played. So it's the conversion of the real outcomes. It's actually the sale. So that's where they're playing on it. So obviously it's a good advantage, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that the brand is any diluted. So there is a play of both.
Right.
So when you look at from a future perspective, the question is not which is bigger. The question is how smarter can you do an integrated solve to this. Branding is important as well as the outcomes are important, and therefore conversions are important, and therefore performance is important, right? So from that context, you have to play in both forms. Yeah, at different phases of businesses, some might have a slightly more larger, equalizer playing on it. But yeah, that's what it is.
Absolutely. Let me switch tracks a little bit because we're also sort of running short on time, and I have a whole bunch of questions still left. Media measurement, of course, again, a major theme this year, under scrutiny. PK, from your point of view, what is currently broken and what is the fix for it? There's talk about, dismantling BARC's exclusivity. There's, talk about multiple ratings agencies. So tell me what's the view that you have on this? Again, what is broken and what's the fix that you see?
No, so I'll try and make it from a customer lens,
Okay.
because all this measurement is ultimately playing back to the customer. Right? There is nothing else. I think, first of all, there has to be constant improvement and constant aptitude of thinking of improving the measurement in a country like ours. There is no two doubts about it. So,
Yeah,
whoever
digital,
it is.
CTV,
Yeah,
where
because
is
we are
that?
going to have multiple aspects. So it's not that you're going to live with the same formula, same way of working. I mean, we remember 25 years back, diary method and stuff. You can't. You have to continuously evolve. And any inertia or any slowness on that will have challenges, because customers will look at how they should look at their own measurement and start going with the journey, which is what we have seen many customers looking at it. One of the areas which I think we got to really getting is the lack of having a database for across media is another challenge.
Unified
way of looking at it, because that's what the customer is looking at. Because otherwise you're challenging the customer to look at how an important factor of marketing investment is being measured, or how is it playing back to the business and therefore the outcomes, right? So that's an important fact that comes under the improvement perspective, but I'm just calling out separately from that context. And we as a country, we as an industry, has a lot of responsibility, and I see a lot of efforts being put on that. It's not that I don't see efforts being put on that, but I think that's an important factor. So I'm putting on the table that unified way is a very important factor, which will be more relevant, more so for everybody in the ecosystem or in the coming future.
with the way things are going.
Right? Awareness is one element. We know the 3 parts of the funnel, right? Today we are looking at how do we get to the that if you want to rewind back the steps what the consumer took from being aware to buying it, how do we really know which is working, what is not working, and stuff like that, right? And if you are able to get closer to that, making sensible on that, I think it will be a very interesting factor, right? A very interesting progress as well. This evolution will continue to happen. I think we also looked at trying to answer this from a digital perspective, because that also, while there is a way to read and look at it, there is also a lot of challenges because of multiple inability to exchange data and understand all of that. But if that world continues in that form, then I think every customer will have to look at their own way of how this can be adapted to their own businesses, right? So measurement as an aspect, these are 1 or 2 challenges. What we should do move forward is to get back to the drawing board and make these challenges vaporize in many form, make right progress, try to work on getting on unified ways. It's important because today even if you look at it from the media side, most of the media side has interest, most of them have an interest in the digital side. It's not that, is there anyone who's not playing on the digital side? I don't think so. Even digital out of home is digital.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. It's a borderless world.
Even cinema has become digital, in many forms, right? So I don't see that, why you should not have a unified form of looking at things, and that can be very helpful. I did not, I think in an earlier question, I think this is probably, I'll add that we have anywhere between 0.3 to 0.5% of the GDP. And the world is sitting at 1 and above. If you really want to reach there, we got to really work on some of these aspects. That's when the customer confidence starts improving more, right? We as a company, we strongly believe it. So that's why we try to work with different entities and try and see how we can co-create some of these aspects to bring that ability of realization for customers to see how outcomes are coming and what is really playing on it. Wherever we are able to do it, we strengthen that and bring that, right? But I think as an industry perspective, it will help to everybody if we can really solve it. All of us are trying to get there, but I'm just putting on.
And everyone's on the same page.
I think
So
people are.
multiple agencies is not the perfect answer to it.
Yeah, frankly, we want more clarity. And as a clarity with multiple players, so be it. But if it's going to add confusion, then it
defeats the purpose.
Yeah, so that's how I'll put it, right? Because if it's going to complement, I think it'll be great. But if it's going to compete, and then you have two currencies, then it becomes difficult to look at. So it's not what really works for you, what doesn't work for me in these cases, because I think 1 + 2 is always 3. It can't be 3.1, right? So I think some of those are important, but it's important to keep a test. I think if you're going to continue with the legacy aspects, so some newer debates, newer aspects, newer ways of looking at will only improvise and keep the momentum on.
Absolutely, that momentum, that transparency, that will also come eventually. That's what people are seeking at the end of the day.
Very true.
Another track, PK, with this shift of WPP's media identity and all this transformation happening, there's another aspect that again has been a recurring theme this year. The sort of the regulatory scrutiny again, as well as sort of the antitrust debates and the conversation that is happening. With this new identity, PK, how are you ensuring, that there is, at least from your perspective and from the organization's perspective, that fairness and transparency in media buying practices? What are you doing? You are, besides, of course, being, the leader of WPP Media in the country, you've been an industry leader, an industry voice. So what is your view on that, and what are you doing to ensure that in this new transformatory phase, you are at that forefront of fairness and transparency?
No, so I think, for us, this is not a new aspect. The ultimate goal for all of us to sleep peacefully in the night, right? So definitely this
minimum 8 hours.
Yeah. But the peaceful is very important.
Right. Good sleep. Good sleep is
the peaceful sleep comes only when you have to do it the right way, right? So that's what it is. So that has not been new to us, and we have been at it, right? I think as a larger organization, I think the values come from there, right? The systems come from there. I think the governance come from there, and as I told you that, over the years and decades, I think the way the leadership has built it, we have been fortunate to practice in those forms, right? Compliance is a very important aspect for us, and we have been at it. So I don't think there is any change. It's only going to get strengthened more. It's also going to get strengthened more because there is more technology. It helps us to do that. There is more newer stuff happening there. So that's how we look at it, right? Other than that, what we really do is we constantly converse with our customers, right, with our people, with our partners, to ensure that this is not a one-day job of being told 10 years back. This is something you do it on a regular manner, right? So I'll put it in that form, right? So we're only strengthening it. So what we have, we strongly believe that it's an important factor. So it's important for us, and therefore we have been strengthening over the years. It will only get more and more strengthened, and it means newer practices, newer ways of looking at things, technology helping on it, all of that included. So I'll just put it in that form.
Fair enough. Going forward, PK, your role also, in the industry as a leader, as someone who's defining practices going forward, how do you see that? Now, again, within the context of GroupM becoming WPP Media, this new journey that it's on now.
No, so we strongly believe we are part of the industry. I personally feel we're a small part of the industry, right?
Why do you say that?
Because we learn from everybody, because people inspire us. So the industry is not just, many times our clients inspire us. Many things that we have learned is from our partners. I think our partners own the assets, and how they come out with solutions, how they come out with distinct products, they're inspirations for you, right? Because they're definitely a part of all our solutions to our customers, right? There's no doubt, two doubts about that. And being a part of that, playing a subset of that, I think we have to be highly collaborative. We have to be very responsible, very accountable at every aspect, right?
But is that collaboration happening currently in the industry? Do you feel that that collaboration aspect of the industry, which was maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, do you still feel that that is where the industry is at right now? More work needs to be done on the collaboration front?
So
because each one, of course, each company, each player is going through its own set of changes, growth pangs, whatever it is that are.
I think see, look at every phase of the evolution. The collaboration is a very generic, but it needs a slightly more customization of every phase, within every phase. What I definitely know, or what I definitely feel, is that there's a lot of maturity in the way the evolution and ability to, reshape yourself, transform yourself. More or less everyone, we have seen that happening. I think it's also important to observe that there will be newer players, there will be transformation which will happen to existing players, because they will get into newer aspects which may be going into different categories and so on. The initiatives may not be the same. So what you did 10 years back may not be really, really effective. You got to invent new ways. And we see that happening. Many players do that, many players may not be doing it. Our responsibility is to nudge them, to get inspired, to do them, and we try and do that, right? Sometimes we feel we're not doing enough. It's not about whether they are doing enough, because I think a lot of it has to, the game will improve when we have more players, really far more better in the game, right? That's when the gallery also will, feel good.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I'll put it in that form, right? So I will not say whether there is enough collaboration or there is no enough collaboration. And there are new ways to collaborate. There are new topics to take on, right? And
bigger battles to fight.
Bigger battles to fight, or look at from the context of what are those newer products to get co-created. What are the newer services that need to co-create, which will have more relevance to play for the customer. Ultimately, the customer is the same for everybody, right? So I will put it in that form. And whatever we are able to do, we're trying to do. We feel we can do better. We want to do better. Yeah, you're right. It's not an easy phase. It's not the same for everybody.
True.
It's tough. But these are times when you really, really want to, be with each other and try and see what's the best way, right? Growth is important for everyone. I don't think anybody wants to say that I don't want to grow. So, but it comes with a larger resilience. It comes with newer strategies. It comes with experimenting newer things. Sometimes you fail, it's okay.
Get back up.
It's okay. Of course, nobody likes failure, but it's okay. You can get back. Try different things. Don't just bet on only one or two things. You should try like multiple aspects. Only then you will know which is working better. Of course, you got to prioritize many, but I think everybody has a leg to do more than one, for sure.
Absolutely.
Right? So these are the things which you should look at. Yeah.
You mentioned peaceful sleep, PK. Tell me this: do you sleep peacefully? Number one,
and when I sleep, I sleep peacefully.
What keeps you up at night?
Some movies.
Binge watching.
Yeah, I try and do that. Mostly those, right? But these days, it's also been some of the learning, right? So some reading happens. It happens in technology. It happens on. See, I try and see, I want to look at not just from our industry perspective. Definitely want to look at how other industries are coping with. I think there's a lot of inspiration there.
Yeah.
You know, the finance categories, it's amazing.
Fintech.
Fintech is amazing today, what they're getting into, all of this, you know, AI and different technology coming, and how they're able to really, you know, bring that in. And those things, unfortunately, you can't do it in a day, but try and see that when you travel, when you spend some time.
And apply those learnings maybe in
And
your
you know,
space.
it's also true that, you know, some of the things is we desire we can do better, but sometimes when it doesn't happen, you know, either for a partner or for yourself or for a customer, then it keeps thinking on, you know, what went wrong, how can you do it better. So some of those aspects also, it's a mixed bag, right? But that's what it is. But as I said, when I sleep peacefully. So, and power naps are something which I'm used to, so it's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are becoming a thing, and which is, I mean, sleep as we know, sleep economy is growing massively. So that's another thing. But one last question, PK, because I was going to ask you this, but then I had to ask you about your peaceful sleep. But you know, with this consolidation happening in the industry globally, what do you see going forward in India? Of course, there's all this talk about, you know, legacy companies being acquired and consolidations happening. You know, players are basically re-strategizing. What do you see happening here across the major your competitors as well?
No, so yeah. Anyway, I think some of those are going to happen. Some of the we're seeing it happening one by one. We always feel that, you know, when two or three comes together, it's not just the business getting merged into one P&L sheet. It's actually people coming together, and it's actually
that's far harder.
It's far harder. But at the same time, I'm sure everybody will put their effort. We are also an organization where we acquired companies, we merged it, we came in. We know the stories, right? But I think those are going to be the challenges which everybody will look at it. But I'm sure those challenges will have its own plans and stuff like that. From the context, I'm trying to see, you know, all of this should help all of us grow. Ultimately, it should not be like 20 became 5 and the same money. That's the point, right? So I think that won't. That's therefore, while we have our eyes on what's going on there, our eyes are more on newer prospects. How can we get the incremental aspect? So newer customers, existing growth for existing customers, right? How can we get it more? I think that will be a larger aspect for us. Newer practices, newer services for existing customers. So strengthening all of that becomes very critical, right? So yeah, it's a good play. Let's see how it's getting shaped up, right? We always like playing with some good, you know, competition. So that's never been an issue. We believe that everything for the good.
I'm going to ask you what you think about all this chatter about Madison.
Sam is the best person to answer that. I can't answer anything. Right? Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I wouldn't know anything much.
You know, back to your point about, you know, focusing on what you need to focus on and not being distracted.
Yeah.
I think that's what I gathered from some of the things you've told me.
You can
because there's a lot of distraction.
See, there are two parts.
It's the story of our lives.
Yeah. So I think I strongly, and I have learned it through my own experience in sports, right, or many advices which through observation and received from, you know, my own brothers or my own friends in the industry. That's why I said, you know, a lot of learning came from two parts. One is don't play to the gallery. Play for yourself, play for the match, right? I think the first one is that if you play to the gallery, you will get influenced by the gallery. Second, don't get distracted. Focus on each point of yours. match winning, game winning is a derivative, right? So if he continues to do that, I think, and of course teamwork is important, right? So that's it.
Who has been an inspiration, in your journey as a leader as well? You mentioned, people that you've worked with. You mentioned family. You mentioned friends in the industry. Who have you looked up to for advice? Who's your sort of bouncing board? Whether now or previously, who have been those people for you?
No. So for me, I have many. Okay. Good part is that I could go and speak to a lot of people. Right. I think all my bosses have been highly inspiring. Everyone. My brothers have been true to my friends. We are about 11 of us, right? So they have been. The few things like you should not fly, go back to the ground. These things happen only when your friends hold them back.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, my family I look up to. My family, both in times when you are in a good state of progress as well as maybe muddled with some challenges. That's helpful. Right? My colleagues have been very, very supportive. So yeah, it's inspiration happens. It's a mutual symbiotic form, right? And that those conversations are important. Those you should exchange. If you don't exchange, I think that's a lack of ability to know where you are and therefore what you should do, right? So definitely
that openness.
That openness, right? It so much happens that some people I don't need to even go now; they'll come and tell you. So because when you play, you're in a blind spot. Only the coaches or people will know what happened, right? So yeah, so I'm probably very fortunate to look at this. So yeah, multiple people.
Perspectives.
Yeah.
Lucky to have those perspectives.
Definitely.
Thank you. That's a good note to end our conversation on, PK. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.